Hey everybody, it's Steve, and I want to show you my new favorite moving head zoom light from Shehds. When you're deciding what light to get next, you can get wash lights that throw a wide pattern of light, or beam lights that are narrow, or you can buy a light like this that's both. In this video, I want to first unbox it, then show you its many features and functions, including changing it from wash to beam with DMX, as well as a few other tricks that it has up its sleeve. And finally, watch two of them together performing their magic. Well, this is a pretty big light, and it comes in a pretty big box. And here's a little manual and well padded packing material. And we've got PowerCon AC cable, DMX cable, and two quick lock connectors. This is a fairly hefty sized fixture at almost 16 inches tall and weighing 17.5 pounds. But for the size of the head, the base is pretty compact at only 9 by 12 inches. It's got 19 15-watt RGBW LEDs that are cooled by this fan on the back. And on the back of the base, it has standard DMX in and out jacks and PowerCon in and out jacks, so you can daisy chain your power, as well as an on-off switch and a panel mount fuse. On the front, there's a nice LCD display, menu navigation buttons, and these two DMX and error indicator lights. And on the bottom, there's a removable panel that can accept these quick lock connectors, so you can easily connect it and disconnect it from your truss. On the sides, there's these handles, which are really nice for a light that weighs 17 pounds, as well as these panel vents for a base-mounted fan. Let's take a look at the menu functions. Here you can change it from 24 channel mode to 16 channel mode. We're going to keep it in 24 channel. You can set different modes: DMX mode, a fast autoplay, a slow autoplay, and a sound active mode. Let's put it back in DMX mode. Here you can change the language between English and Chinese. You can invert the display for hanging. Here's where you change the DMX starting address. And in this menu, you can reverse both the pan and the tilt by saying yes or no. I'm going to say no. And you can adjust the mic sensitivity from 1 to 250. And there's a variety of other utility functions. So just how bright are these 19 15-watt LEDs? Well, they're seriously bright. When I was measuring the output of my brightest par lights in another video, they were reading over 800 lux 17 feet away. Now let's take a look at what these are under the same conditions. And they're reading almost 2,000 lux, and that's at a zoom factor of 150. All I can say is, don't look directly into one of these, or you will be seeing spots on the walls for hours. Unfortunately, I speak from experience. Now let's take a look at each of the DMX channels. I have it set in 24 channel mode to show all its capabilities, but there's also a 16 channel mode that's a little simpler to operate. And I'm controlling this with my iPad using an app called Vibrio. Channels 1 and 2 control the pan and fine pan. Channels 3 and 4 are the tilt and fine tilt. And channel 5 is the pan and tilt speed. So at a lower value, you get faster changes, and in the higher values, slower. I'm going to put the pan to 95 and the tilt to 47. Now we're going to skip channels 6 and 8 for now, and we're going to go and set the color on the LEDs. So I've got channel 7, which is the dimmer control, set to a value of 15, which is low, just so the cameras can see this better. And on most wash lights, when you're controlling the color of LEDs, you're controlling all of the LEDs at the same time. But this one has more control. So on channels 9 through 12, you're setting the red, green, blue, and white of just the center LED. And on 13 through 16, the red, green, blue, and white of the inner ring of LEDs, and 17 through 20, the red, green, blue, and white of the outer ring. So let's set white, blue, and I guess green. And what's nice is you can program really interesting effects when the different rings transition from one color to another. Now let's go back to channels 6 and 8. Channel 8 is a strobing function, slower in the lower values, faster in the higher. And channel 6 is the zoom control. And you can look and see that this changes the distance between the lenses and the LED elements. And what that effectively does is change it from a wash in the lowest settings to a beam in the highest. And you can use this as an effect, but it also gives you the flexibility to wash a stage with light and then switch to a narrower beam to focus on a particular performer or an element on your stage. Now jumping back to channel 21, here you can set specific static colors very simply and easily. And in the higher values, there's sequences of colors with different transition effects. And you can set the speed of these sequences on channel 22. Higher is faster. And then channel 23 is something that the manual calls self-propelled mode, which lets the light randomly move on its X and Y axes, but the color stays whatever you selected on channel 21. So basically you can create your own custom auto modes by combining the motion and the sequences of color. There's also a sound active function in this mode. And finally, channel 24 is a reset. This light has a lot to offer, and with the zoom function, it's especially versatile. It's very, very bright and surprisingly inexpensive. Now let's watch two of them going through their moves. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.